signs matter. We look for them, we depend on them to let us know we've arrived at our destination. At Barlow Signs International in Hudson, a sign's design is everything.
To get people in the door. After that, it's up to their product. But if our product can get them in the door, then I think we've done our job well.
Barlow Signs was established in 1969. Owner Raymond Brayton bought the company in 2018. He worked in the sign industry on the West Coast for decades. You could say signs are in his blood.
I think anybody that gets into the sign business becomes a rubbernecker to a point of dangerousness. I've had my wife many a time give me a good pop driving because my head is just staring at the signs, and not even signs that were mine. They were just, oh my gosh, look at that. I mean, I'm just a fan of beautiful displays.
Raymond visited Barlow several years ago and knew instantly this company was something special. Employees here are dedicated.
I spent 3 days here, and I sat with every employee, and what I saw here was something I hadn't seen in my career before. People that stayed here for their whole life. People that were so happy to be here, even though they'd been here 20, 30, 40 years.
No matter the size, every sign goes through the same process.
From design to final completion, there's anywhere between 20 and 30 different steps that has to be taken between the different departments.
Barlow's design team works with the client to craft the logo, work on brand design, and once the artwork is approved, the team gets to work. Dallas Orcutt is one of the sign fabricators. He's been making signs for more than 40 years.
We get a print, and it shows us a picture, basically, and some measurements. We go from that, and we make it. You turn it in from a flat piece of metal to a sign.
Dallas loves a challenge, and this sign in Manchester fit the bill. The Team Nissan sign.
You're talking 26 feet long, 12 feet tall. You had to get it out of here in 2 pieces. So
that must have been a little challenging.
That was a challenge. Then again, I had to go to paint, so I had to figure out, and it wouldn't fit in the booth, so I had to figure out how to assemble it afterwards, which I did. Figured it all out, and that was a fun job to do.
Final step, installation.
If you want to know what signs Barlow has made, the more appropriate question would be, what signs haven't they made? Here at the Flagstone Crossing in Hudson, every single sign in this entire development, except for one, is a Barlow sign.
Raymond has seen many changes in the industry over the years. Technology has stepped up. Signs once made by hand are now created with the help of computers and machinery.
Everything was done by hand, routers, cutting. That's why I mentioned to you earlier that I could never do a beautiful O. My O's were always eggs. So thank gosh for the computers and the CNC routers today. Vinyl graphics really weren't even that. Maybe you had the primary 5 or 6 colors, that was about it. Starting in 1982, where there was no glue to glue a letter together, so you would use a wire system to glue the front of the letter to the back of the letter.
Bright colored neon signs are now LED.
Going from the neon to the LED has not only saved the country an enormous amount of money in power consumption, but the cost of the repairs of those products has virtually saved many, many retailers a lot of money in annual maintenance.
And remember this iconic sign, the 70-foot-tall neon cactus, at the old Hilltop Steakhouse located on Route 1 in Saugus. The restaurant no longer exists, but in 2018, Barlow got the tall order to restore this old landmark. Being from the West Coast, Raymond couldn't believe the nostalgia surrounding this sign.
I remember the night that we did the big unveiling down there. I mean, people were honking their horns and screaming and hollering. I mean, I didn't realize the enormous amount of people would come up and tell me that they had their first date there. Yes, in the wind it moves a little bit, but it was an amazing thing to take apart and see, because we were kind of reverse engineered it. and then we had to replace a lot of it that was missing. So that was pretty wild to get into that.
Helping customers create and build their brand is Barlow's goal, while making sure a Barlow sign is a cut above their competitors.
I can tell the signs that we did, because I can see that, you know, we kind of put our own little fingerprint on our stuff a little bit. We'll always add some little bell or whistle that somebody else wouldn't.
And the future of signage looking bright.
Seeing what has morphed in technology has been amazing, and I think the future is going to be absolutely, I don't even know what to expect. I'm seeing the holographic imageries, I'm seeing a lot of technology right now coming into signage, and I think if we can get the municipalities to embrace that and be more open to seeing that outdoors, we'll start seeing a lot of really fun signs.